Hey folks, if you've ever battled with keeping your garden alive through those blazing hot summers, you know the struggle is real. But don't worry, today I'm showing you 12 drought-tolerant flowering plants that thrive even when the hose hasn't been touched in weeks. These beauties don't just survive the heat, they put on a colorful show while sipping water like it's fine whiskey, making them perfect for low-maintenance yards, busy lifestyles, or anyone tired of watching plants wilt the second the sun cranks up. Stick around, because your garden's about to get a whole lot easier, and a whole lot brighter. Oakleaf Hydrangea is one of those shrubs that proves you can have both toughness and beauty in the garden. Native to the southeastern US, it's built to handle hot summers and stretches of drought once its roots are settled. The showy, cone-shaped flower clusters can grow nearly a foot long, starting off creamy white, shifting to pink, and finally fading into a rustic brown that lasts through fall. Its foliage is just as striking, turning deep shades of red and burgundy when cooler weather sets in. Unlike fussier hydrangeas, this one doesn't need constant watering or complicated pruning schedules. Studies show established plants can thrive on as little as an inch of water a week, making it a water-wise choice. It also tolerates average soils as long as drainage is decent, which adds to its low-maintenance appeal. For gardeners who want bold blooms without babysitting, Oakleaf Hydrangea is a reliable star. Dianthus is one of those plants that proves small flowers can pack a big punch, especially when the heat is on. Known for its spicy clove-like fragrance, this perennial thrives in full sun and doesn't mind when the soil dries out between waterings. Once established, Dianthus can handle dry spells with ease, needing only light watering to keep blooming. The flowers come in shades of pink, red, and white, often with frilly edges that give them a delicate look despite their toughness. Gardeners love that it's not only drought-tolerant but also deer-resistant, making it a reliable choice in tricky spots. Its compact size makes it perfect for borders, rock gardens, or containers where water is limited. With blooms that last from spring through summer, it offers a long season of color with very little fuss. For a plant that's as fragrant as it is resilient, Dianthus is hard to beat. Petunias are classic garden favorites that handle heat and dry conditions far better than most people expect. Once their roots are established, they can power through stretches of drought while still producing wave after wave of colorful blooms. These trumpet-shaped flowers come in just about every shade imaginable: pink, purple, red, white, even bicolored varieties that light up borders, pots, and hanging baskets. Petunias thrive in full sun and well-drained soil, and they only need occasional deep watering to keep them going strong. Gardeners love them because they bloom nonstop from spring until frost, giving months of reliable color. Studies show they can tolerate short drought periods without losing vigor, making them a practical yet showy choice. Their versatility is unmatched, whether you want a ground cover, a container filler, or a dramatic cascade of blooms. If you're after bold color with low fuss, petunias are always a safe bet. Roman chamomile is one of those plants that proves useful and beautiful can go hand in hand, especially when you're dealing with dry conditions. Known for its dainty white, daisy-like flowers with sunny yellow centers, it thrives in poor, sandy soils and doesn't blink at drought once established. This perennial ground cover needs very little water, about an inch a week at most, and actually dislikes being overwatered, which makes it a great pick for low-maintenance gardens. Gardeners love it not just for its charming look but also for its sweet, apple-like fragrance that drifts through the air on warm days. The flowers have been used for centuries in calming teas, adding another layer of appeal to growing it at home. Roman chamomile also attracts pollinators while resisting deer and pests, so it's as practical as it is pretty. With its carpet of blooms and resilience against tough conditions, it's the kind of plant that earns its keep without ever asking for much in return. Verbena is a sun-loving flower that's built for hot, dry summers when other plants start to fade. It produces clusters of tiny blooms in vibrant shades of purple, pink, red, and white that keep coming from spring until frost. Once established, Verbena thrives on minimal water, often needing less than an inch a week, which makes it a perfect choice for drought-prone areas. Gardeners love it in borders, rock gardens, or containers, especially since its trailing habit spills color beautifully over the edges. Despite looking delicate, this plant is tough, tolerating poor soil and handling heat without complaint. It's also a magnet for butterflies and bees, turning any garden into a pollinator hotspot. With very little upkeep, it rewards you with months of nonstop blooms and vibrant color. For anyone wanting big impact without babysitting, Verbena is an easy win. Coral bells are one of those plants that prove foliage can be just as striking as flowers, and they handle drought surprisingly well once settled in. Native to North America, these perennials thrive in partial shade to full sun, depending on the variety, and they don't demand constant watering. Their colorful leaves come in shades of burgundy, lime green, silver, and even near black, adding bold texture to beds and borders. Delicate flower spikes rise above the foliage in late spring and summer, bringing clusters of tiny bell-shaped blooms that hummingbirds adore. Studies show that established coral bells can tolerate dry spells with only occasional deep watering, making them perfect for low-maintenance gardens. They also do well in containers, where their striking foliage provides year-round interest with minimal care. With beauty that lasts across seasons and toughness that surprises most gardeners, coral bells are both practical and eye-catching. Weigela is a hardy flowering shrub that brings a burst of color to the garden without demanding constant care. Native to Asia, it's known for its trumpet-shaped blooms that come in shades of pink, red, or white and attract hummingbirds in droves. Once established, Weigela handles dry spells surprisingly well, needing only occasional deep watering to stay healthy. It thrives in full sun, where it produces the heaviest bloom display from late spring into early summer, with many varieties offering a bonus flush later in the season. Gardeners appreciate its reliability. Weigela tolerates a range of soils as long as they drain well and doesn't require much pruning beyond shaping. Some modern cultivars even come with colorful foliage, adding interest long after the flowers fade. With its tough nature and showy display, Weigela proves you can have beauty in the landscape without a high-maintenance routine. Geraniums are the kind of flowers that keep gardens cheerful even when the weather turns hot and dry. Known for their clusters of bright red, pink, purple, or white blooms, they thrive in full sun and well-drained soil with only moderate watering. Once established, they can handle drought surprisingly well, often bouncing back quickly after dry spells. Gardeners love using them in window boxes, pots, and borders because they bloom nonstop from spring through fall with minimal fuss. Their leaves add charm too, often with a spicy scent that helps deter pests like deer and rabbits. Studies show geraniums can maintain good flowering with as little as 1 inch of water per week, making them a smart, water-wise option. They're also easy to deadhead, which keeps the plant looking fresh and encourages even more blooms. For color that lasts all season without the hassle, geraniums never disappoint. Scaevola, often called the fanflower, for its unique half-circle petals, is a true champion when it comes to surviving heat and drought. Native to Australia, it's built for tough conditions and thrives in full sun with very little water once established. Its trailing habit makes it perfect for hanging baskets, window boxes, or ground cover, where it spills cascades of purple, blue, or white blooms all summer long. Gardeners love it because it keeps flowering even in the peak of summer when many other plants quit. Scaevola typically needs less than 1 inch of water a week, and it shrugs off poor soil as long as drainage is good. It's also self-cleaning, which means no deadheading is required to keep it looking fresh. Butterflies flock to its flowers, adding even more life to the garden. For low-maintenance color that can handle scorching sun and dry spells, Scaevola is hard to beat. Marigolds are one of the easiest flowers to grow, and they handle heat and drought like seasoned pros. These sunny blooms come in rich shades of gold, orange, and red, brightening up beds, borders, and containers all summer long. Once their roots are settled, marigolds can thrive on minimal watering, often needing less than 1 inch per week to keep producing new flowers. Gardeners love them not only for their non-stop color but also for their natural pest-repelling abilities, since their strong scent helps deter insects. They bloom best in full sun and poor to average soil, proving they don't need pampering to perform. Marigolds are also quick growers, often blooming within just a couple of months after planting from seed. Their cheerful flowers attract pollinators while keeping the garden healthier overall. For reliable, fuss-free color that laughs at dry spells, marigolds are a timeless favorite. Daylilies are tough as nails perennials that thrive in the heat and bounce back easily from drought. Known for their trumpet-shaped flowers in every shade from sunny yellow to deep burgundy, they bloom in waves from early summer through late season. Each bloom lasts just a day, but with so many buds per stem, the show goes on for weeks. Once established, daylilies can survive on as little as 1 inch of water a week and still look lush. They're equally happy in poor soil, clay, or sandy ground, as long as there's decent drainage. Gardeners love them because they spread over time, filling in bare spots with very little effort. Their hardy nature also makes them resistant to pests and diseases, meaning you can plant them and practically forget about them. For color, reliability, and drought tolerance, daylilies are one of the easiest wins in the garden. Coreopsis, often called tickseed, is a sun-loving perennial that thrives in hot, dry conditions without missing a beat. Its daisy-like blooms in bright yellows, reds, and bicolors light up the garden from early summer well into fall. Once established, Coreopsis needs very little water, about an inch a week or less, making it a water-wise choice for drought-prone areas. It's a pollinator magnet too, drawing in bees and butterflies while resisting deer and rabbits. Gardeners appreciate how little maintenance it requires. Deadheading encourages more blooms, but even if you skip it, this plant still performs. Coreopsis grows well in poor, sandy soils, proving it doesn't need rich ground to shine. With its long bloom season and carefree nature, it's a reliable splash of sunshine in any landscape. For a burst of color that thrives on neglect, Coreopsis is a garden standout. That's our list of drought-tolerant beauties, perfect for keeping your garden vibrant without the extra work. Make sure to hit subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and share your go-to tough flower in the comments below.